Okay, gonna do a quick video on a thin twin Whirlpool not wanting to drain and spin. Couple things here I want to go over. As you can see, I got it working. Bypass the door switch here. So the door switch was bad, but if you listen, hear it makes like a half-hearted click. And these look like they're potted. I wanted to take this apart, but see, this one here looks like it's been potted in there. See it? See that shiny stuff? So I'm gonna have to disconnect it completely and go get a new one tomorrow. For this washer, that's gonna be the part number. So what I did is I bypassed it. Get a voltage tester. I tested the leads coming into the switch. So you've got a ground and you've got two leads. So that completes the circuit. I'm assuming the ground's for protection. And what I did is I went ahead and tested the power coming in. Now, when you're testing the lead coming into the switch, so this is the plug-in, right? So you're going to have your outer circuits here. This is what's going to continue the circuit through the switch, right? So your outer legs. So I tested the outer legs on the plug with the switch on, right? On in spin mode, right? Because it wasn't draining or spinning. And I got 120 volts. With it off, you got some bleed through the system. It's like 5 volts. So remember, you're dealing with 120 volts here. And you don't want to get shocked. So I'll show you what I did here to kind of get to the point where I'm at right now. It's been fun. But I like this, my frankenpool. So what I did is I started with the switch, disconnected the switch, and then fiddled around with it a little bit. I didn't think to bypass it right away because there's a lot of dust on the controller here. So in order to facilitate working on the controller, you're going to have to remove the screw here, and then you slide the controller over, right? Slide it to the right, and you can lift it out. But before you do that, there's a black retainer in here. So this retainer slides down inside. Oh, I didn't look at this earlier. See that? That slides down inside to hold the knob. Okay, so you have to pull that out. So this will be slid down inside of the back of the timer, right? It'll be down in there like that. You get some needle nose, and you can pull it out. Okay, and then you can pull off the knob after you turn off the unit. Enjoy. So before you unscrew the back of the timer so you can actually use the knob, I gotta set you down for a minute. I'm gonna turn you off. There. No, fill up. You piece of shit. Off. Anyway, this is fun. Make sure the washing machine's off. Pull off that. And actually, you'd pull the the wires off the back side of the timer anyway. To do that, there's a little release, but I'm not pulling them off. So let's start over. Pull the wire off the timer, right? Then it won't run when you're fiddling with it. Pull your black pin, right? Undo your screw. Slide it to the right. Lift it off. Mine was covered with dust, so I had looked online and there was some references to cleaning the timer on the inside. So what I did, okay, is there was a retainer here, and it's a hot glued molded type retainer. I had to break it with a screwdriver to be able to open this. See what I'm doing here? And then I sprayed some electronic parts cleaner in there. Now I've got to resecure this, right? The back of this piece. So doused it down, turned the knob. There was a lot of dust in it to clean the contacts on the inside, okay? Now, to solve that, because now I could glue this, right? We could glue this. But if I ever need to get in here again, that's going to be an issue with the glue, right? So what I'm going to do here in a minute, I'll take these self-tapping screws, and that's why I went on the one side. I didn't do the whole thing. Hold on, I'll set you down. So take these small self-tapping screws, and I'm going to take and put just either one or two and try and get them in here, right? So you get some small screws and screw this down. See how that pinches down on either side on the outer flange, okay? So I'm going to do that in a minute, and then I'll reinstall it, okay? And there's some videos on people installing these, but they're not hard, right? So like I said, remove your electrical, undo your screw, pull the black pin, pull the knob and the shield for the knob, slide the timer to the right, you can lift it out. Goes together in reverse. That's the timer. Getting into the switch for the door, pretty simple. You know, access the washer. There's videos on that. Each one of these are a little bit different. Mine had 2 screws on the back side, so I had to get the lid up. In order to facilitate getting the lid up, I had to take this angled cover off, and there's 2 screws. You can see the screw holes here, see? 2 screws holding that panel up. So to access the top of this thing, I took that panel off, the 2 screws, removed this angled panel, and then there's retainer clips that hold the top on. Just lift up, they'll pop up, and that'll give you access to the back side of the washer on the inside, okay? Then you're going to undo your plug, because you got a little plug here that goes to the door switch, right, which would be mounted right there and hooked up to this connector here. So you disconnect that connector, and that allows you to get into it. Now to get the door switch off, there's 2 screws underneath the lid, and it's easy to just undo them 2 screws and you can pop that door switch up. But to get the front panel off, there's screws on the back side that on this model that hold that panel in, okay, and it locks into the bottom here and in here. See, there's these little clips here that clip that front panel on, okay? So they clip on, it hooks in here on the bottom, clips on there, screw in the top left and the top right. This angle iron I've added, this is frankenpool, so I reinforced it, but there it is. That was the issue. So you can check the continuity on the switch if you want. I just bypassed it quick, made sure the voltage was correct, and that's what I did to solve the issue. So tomorrow I'll go down, I'm going to remove this switch, and hopefully I can find one. This is a pretty old washer. If I can't find another switch, I'm just going to bypass it. I don't have any little children in here. The safety switch is so that the machine won't spin out with the door open, right? You don't want that. Kids playing around with it, you get their arm stuck in there, it'll break their arm. Take it, snap it. If it's in spin cycle in there, stick your hand in there. And because it allows the door to be open in spin cycle. So there you have it. Hopefully that helps some people out in dealing with this issue. But the other thing that you could do, if that's not the issue, you can come down and you have your drain pump. So what I did on this one to make sure it wasn't a drain pump, but I was pretty sure it wasn't a drain pump, but I want to check the shaft anyway. You can just look in here. So if you grab a light, there's a shaft. If I can get this angle right, let's see if I can do it. See it down in there? Well, if you look with a flashlight, you'll see it. There's a shaft comes out of the motor, goes into the pump there, okay? Right there. And that activates the pump. So a couple clips. There's a tension clip on the top, one on the bottom. They're real fun. They're real fun to get back on. That's all that holds that pump onto that shaft. So you can grab these clips in the top. I'm not going to do it. You pop them off. Pop the one off in the bottom. This slides out. If you got something stuck in the pump, you can access the pump that way. You use a garden hose and siphon the water out of the drum, and remaining water in the bottom of the machine, you can use a shop vac to clean it out if you have to access the pump. I don't have a clogged pump, so that wasn't an issue, but I figured I had it apart. Let's check everything. So that's where I'm at, and there it is. So hopefully that helps somebody in dealing with this issue. From what I've researched, majority of the time, I would say if your machine won't drain and it won't spin, it's probably going to be the door switch first, controller second, and it could be, if it's not draining but it is spinning, then it's the pump that's not working properly, right? Could be an issue with something clogging the pump, or the shaft goes into the pump that could be stripped from something clogging the pump. But anyway, hopefully that covers everything here that I wanted to cover. So there it is. All right, over and out.